You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Bay Area, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And today, the Giants looked like they were sleepwalking out there as they fall to the Red Sox 4-0 at Fenway Park. Probably Logan Webb's worst start of the year so far. He just couldn't get out of the fourth inning and didn't have it tonight at all. And the Giants offense continues to let them down with their struggles on the road really standing out at this point. We'll break it all down, but first I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports Bay Area YouTube channel. If you aren't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now. And make sure you're checking out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. Today's episode is brought to you by Monopoly Go. I admit it, I have a competitive side, and I'm a big fan of Monopoly Go, the mobile hit twist on the classic Monopoly. So join your friends and download the Monopoly Go game now for free on the App Store or Google Play. Today, man, Logan Webb just didn't have it. He came into tonight riding a 19-inning scoreless streak, and that came to an end abruptly in the first inning. After a 2-out rally, scores Tyler O'Neill. He dunked in a single to the right way, going the opposite way, which is something we saw the Red Sox do a lot of tonight. I followed that up with a free 90, a Logan Webb walk, which free 90 is going to come back to haunt you. The next batter comes up, singles, and the Red Sox go up 1-0. Webb falling behind in the count to a lot of batters really early on. Overall in this one, he had 7 3-ball counts. That's making life really hard on yourself trying to get out of things. And it just kind of continued like that for Webb. In the second inning, he led off with a Reese McGuire walk and then stole second. Webb didn't even see McGuire stealing second. It actually wasn't a leadoff walk, but he got the rally started with a walk, I should say. The second inning was actually the only inning that Logan Webb didn't let the leadoff runner aboard. So it wasn't the leadoff batter. But anyways, he walked and then stole second. Webb didn't even see him as he started very early. I mean, you could say he got a good jump, but that's just because Webb didn't go and look over to first base and see him. I mean, he could have just stepped off the rubber and had him dead to rights, but he doesn't. McGuire ends up with the steal, and then Duran base hit by Duran scores McGuire to put the Red Sox up 2-0. In the bottom of the third, Wilyer Abreu, a leadoff double. And later in the inning, a single scores him, puts the Red Sox up 3-0. And then in the fourth inning, a Duran leadoff single, steals second, and Abreu triples to score Duran. Red Sox take a 4-0 lead, and Webb was done for the day after that. And getting to that point, to midway through the fourth inning, Webb had thrown over 90 pitches, 91 pitches, only 52 strikes. Webby threw almost 40 balls today to 40 strikes. That is not a very good ratio. That's very indicative of the lack of control that he had. He did face 22 batters, and he only induced 4 ground outs. This is a guy who has been one of the best ground ball pitchers since he came up to the bigs. I mean, this year he's 4th best in baseball coming into today in his ground ball rate. And for that guy to only get 4 ground ball outs is unusual. It's not what Logan Webb is usually looking like out there on the mound. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that his changeup was just not dancing around the way it usually does. He did throw his changeup a lot tonight in his start that he had earlier this year that he also didn't pitch very well in the one start that he pitched in. He didn't throw the changeup a ton in that one, but it did get hit a lot in that game, and he kind of abandoned it against the Dodgers. And they were going the other way a lot, and that's like pretty much what you saw from the Red Sox today. They're just going the other way over and over and over again on Logan Webb's changeup and trying to hit it the opposite direction, whether that's poking it into right, as we saw numerous times from the right-handed side of the box. I mean, it's a good plan of attack against Logan Webb's changeup. It's something that we've seen work in the past. Other teams have done it. I don't think this is just going to be like the secret to facing Logan Webb going forward, because it takes a lot of execution. It's one thing to be able to say, yeah, we know Logan Webb's going to throw a lot of changeups. It's another thing to actually be able to go out there and hit those changeups consistently. A lot of this tonight was Webby couldn't locate the ball how he wanted to. You saw him getting into a lot of 3-ball counts in this one. Again, 7 3-ball counts for Logan Webb, the 3 walks, and that's all in less than 4 innings of work. Logan Webb just didn't look like himself tonight. I mean, for my money, I think he's going to be the NL Cy Young winner. I mean, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball all season long, and he surrendered 9 hits tonight, 4 earned runs. As I said, the 3 walks, but he still had those 4 strikeouts. If this was a bad game, if this is what you get from Logan Webb in a bad outing, I'll take it, man. I said the same thing about Jordan Hicks not that long ago, but you in a bad outing, you get 3 2/3, which isn't nearly long enough, and there's a double-edged sword with that one because the bullpen also had to get in some work today, and they're probably going to be getting a lot of work tomorrow too. Probably a bullpen-ish type game tomorrow for the Giants. I mean, Sean Jelly and Landon Roop both pitch in this one, so those were 2 guys that we had pegged as maybe guys that could be a bulk starter for the Giants in a type of situation like that. So who knows at this point which one's going to get going? I don't think either of them will be. I think it'll be a bullpen game tomorrow to some extent, and we will see what happens with that. But not my favorite type of game. But the Giants are kind of in need of a spot start like that from the bullpen because they're down Blake Snell, who should be returning fairly soon. He's been progressing well through his injury rehab, and the Giants have the longest road trip of the season kicking off right now with this loss that signals the start of their longest road trip of the season, just after their longest homestand of the season. So the Giants do have the big wraparound all across the U.S. road trip, with starting here in Boston, then going to Philly, and then ending in Colorado before returning to San Francisco in a little under 2 weeks from now. And the Giants will have their work cut out for them over this stretch. The Red Sox have been playing well, 17-13 now on the season as the Giants fall to 14-16. The Phillies have been playing decent as well too. And tonight you saw really what makes the Red Sox a tough team to beat so far early in the season, and that's their pitching. Criswell today, 5 innings pitched, just 2 hits and no runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. He's not out there throwing, 99, 100 miles an hour. He's out there throwing 89, and this guy's getting people to strike out. He's got all sorts of movement to everything that he's throwing up there. Andrew Bailey, former Giants pitching coach, has really got things going for the Red Sox staff out there in Boston. And Fenway Park, by the way, man, Fenway Park, what a scene that is. I would love to get out there someday. It just looks like such a I don't know. It's just like baseball heaven out there to me is what it seems like. And it's just those old ballparks like Fenway, Wrigley, those things really just emanate history. And I love that. I'm a big history nerd in addition to being a big baseball nerd. So that's like right up my alley. I would love to get out there and see a game there one day, but hopefully a Giants win, not a 4-0 shutout. It's fun to see the Giants doing the interleague thing, playing teams you normally don't see them playing. You get to see parks you normally don't get to see. Well, at least, if you're primarily watching Giants games, and it's kind of fun to see how these teams match up over, different styles. Not as much now anymore as it used to be, where there used to be such a huge difference between American League pitching and National League pitching. And now that both leagues have the DH, it's more or less the same. So there's not a ton of differential issues between the two teams anymore. Not a bunch of big differences in how they approach to winning games and things like that. American League versus National League, but it's been fun in recent years to see these interleague series become more and more prevalent. And it's nice that the Giants are going to be coming to Boston every couple of years. I'm sure the Yastrzemski family enjoys that as well. Mike Yastrzemski coming back to Boston for the first time since they had that big ceremony for him and Carl Yastrzemski, his grandfather, on the field back in the last time the Giants came out here. And unfortunately for Yaz, that did not translate to much success at the plate. He went 0 for 2 tonight at the plate with 2 strikeouts. So the Giants just couldn't do anything tonight to support Logan Webb. Logan Webb had a very off game today. You also saw the Giants throw a ton of relief pitchers in this one. So rough game today. Not a lot to hang your hat on. Really not a lot going for the Giants. Their offense has been terrible, has been sputtering all season long. And on the road, it's getting to a point now where we got to talk about if road woes are going to be a thing for the San Francisco Giants in 2024. Early season indicators is, this is going to be a problem. So stick with us. I'll explain more on the other side. This is the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150 win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks to Logan Webb for the NL Cy Young. As I keep telling you guys, even despite this bad start, I'm still sticking with my picks. I got it in. I got the ticket in already. So you should too on FanDuel. Logan Webb for NL Cy Young, all on an app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants offense mustered only four hits in their 4-0 loss to the Boston Red Sox. It's not 4 hits is not going to win you a lot of games in pro baseball. And the 6 innings pitch mark, which really bodes well for the Giants when starters go more than 6 innings. They're 12-4. Well, Logan Webb can't get to that 6 inning mark, and the Giants lose. Seems like that trend is really continuing with the Giants, as well as the troubling trend of the Giants offense not being able to hit or do anything, especially on the road, man. It's bad. It's bad right now. Coming into tonight, their home road splits were already pretty bad. I mean, their batting average on the road was higher than their batting average at home, but they're just struggling, man. They're really, really, really struggling. They only are averaging less than 5 runs a game on the road, less than 4 runs a game at home. And the pitching is really also an issue on the road too. Their team ERA over 5 on the road, under 4 at home. Home runs on the road, they've allowed 17 of them, only 11 at home. Opponent batting average on the road, they're allowing opponents to hit a clip of 272 on the road as opposed to 239 at home. Road OPS, opponent OPS is 789. That's not going to get it done, man. And home OPS for opponents is 650. So if your pitching staff, predictably, is not going to pitch as well on the road as they do at Oracle Park. I mean, Oracle Park is a giant competitive advantage for the Giants. You know, the way that they pitch, it really bodes well to, I mean, it plays to their pitching staff. Their park does. I mean, they don't have a lot of fly ball pitchers anyways. Kyle Harrison is one of them, but even if someone does give it a ride, there's a lot of space out there. They have a good defense in the outfield to track down some balls. They have a great infield defense this season. So their home field plays to their strengths. When your pitchers are on the road in a hostile environment, you need to be able to score some runs for them. And while the Giants offense, I guess, has been hitting a little bit better on the road as of late, today you're just shut completely down by the Red Sox. It's troubling, man. 4 hits all day long. And I mean, Andrew Bailey, like I said, the Red Sox pitching coach, former Giants pitching coach, does have this team really locked in on the hill. It's not just like they have 1 or 2 guys. I mean, they've had a lot of injuries to that pitching staff, and it has been just a parade of guys coming out there for the Red Sox that all have been pitching very, very, very well. I mean, this whole staff is filled with dudes. I mean, I hadn't really heard of Criswell until this season, and he's got a 1.65 ERA. I mean, this dude just came out of nowhere, and he's doing it all throwing less than 90 miles an hour. But the troubling thing here, like, yes, we can talk about all of the accolades that the Red Sox pitching staff deserves so far this season. They've been a good team, but but you're just going to get blanked by a guy who was relatively unknown. I mean, that's kind of just baseball. Like, this guy hasn't really done a whole lot. His career regular season ERA is 4.67. He's only pitched and he's only got 3 wins and 3 losses in his career. So this guy, relatively unknown, 27 years old, 6'6", righties, 200 pounds, but he's not really using that size to muster some strength up there. He's, as I said, not really a flamethrower, but he did enough to keep the Giants hitters off balance, and they were really struggling tonight. And this could have been a lot worse, as the Red Sox actually left a ton of guys on base. They were just 4 for 17 with runners in scoring position and left 13 runners on base. It's a lot. That's a lot of runners to leave on base. So this game could have gotten very ugly very quickly if the Giants pitching staff wasn't able to tighten it up later on in this one. But point being, you need to have some runs scored. You need to support your starting pitching staff. I mean, the Giants are so bad at scoring, especially early in games when your starter is still on the hill pitching. It seems more and more as the season goes on, like the Giants, if they're going to score, you're expecting them to score in the 7th inning or later, which is you playing a lot of catch up, you coming from behind a lot, and that's really stressful. It's a very stressful brand of baseball to try and win every night with. It's not going to be something that is consistent that you can continue to play and expect the Giants to win games and be a playoff team, potentially playoff team. Wild card, I would say, is probably the thing in their sights. But I mean, you win some, you lose some. It is baseball. It's a long season, but this is just frustrating. It's frustrating to see the Giants continue to have the same issues. I mean, nobody in this lineup is really hitting at this point. I mean, Lamont Wade Jr. stays getting on base. He had a walk in this one before he was pulled for Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores had another hit off the bench. Again, don't got to get ready if you stay ready. And Chapman and Conforto both added in a pair of hits too, with Soler adding in a hit as well. It's nice when those guys hit, but when no one else is hitting, it seems like either those 3 guys are hitting, the Soler, Conforto, Chapman. Either those 3 guys hit and nobody else does, or everybody else hits and those 3 guys don't. And the Giants offense needs to get on the same page. It is so frustrating to see them just sputtering the way they are after having the offseason that they did, bringing in all these big bats, and they just can't manage to score runs at all, man. And it's versus lefties, it's versus righties, it's versus flamethrowers, it's versus, guys who throw a lot of junk. They just can't hit. Plain and simple, can't hit. They need to figure something out. I mean, I trust that Pat Burrell and the rest of the Giants hitting coaches and coaching staff is going to be able to right the ship with this team. But it's getting to a point now where we're about to turn the calendar to May, and the Giants don't look very effective as a team at the dish. Not a single guy besides Lamont Wade Jr. batting over 300 for this team. A lot of strikeouts. They had 10 strikeouts today, only drew 1 walk. They're not doing a whole lot up there at the plate to help their starting pitching staff, which is one of the best in baseball. And it's going to continue to go like this until the Giants hit. I mean, in a day where you had a bad outing from your pitching staff, you give up only 4 runs and you still can't even manage to keep this one really even close or competitive at the end. I mean, they had a little rally there in the 9th, getting some runners on, and you saw the Red Sox get Kenley Jansen throwing in the bullpen, which I hate that sight personally. I can't stand that guy. I can't stand watching him come into games, except for when he was blowing saves. That was kind of fun that season where he just had a real issue with closing it down for the Dodgers. But for the most part, Jansen is a lights out closer, and I don't want any part of him. And it just brings back bad memories from the Dodgers, man. Like, why do we got to do that? I feel like some Dodger player that just haunts the Giants always travels around baseball, and you just crops up later on for the Giants. And Jansen, here he is again. And I just could go the rest of my life without seeing that guy pitch against the Giants. I'm assuming we're gonna see him at some point this series, and I'm not looking forward to that. Interesting that the Giants were able to get through this with only the 3 relievers that they threw. I think that was a good move to leave Roop out there for 2 innings and let Jelly come back out after he finished that 4th inning to pitch that 5th inning, so that the the Giants had another inning of work out of him and didn't need to waste another arm ahead of their likely bullpen game tomorrow. The Giants need to find something, because I'll tell you what, bullpen game does not spell, holding the Red Sox to 1 or 2 runs. So they're going to need to figure out real quickly how to get some hits in this one. Stick with us on the other side of the Locked On Giants postcast. We got more to break down from this game today. Again, Giants fall 4-0 to the Red Sox at Fenway Park. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. This Mother's Day, get mom something thoughtful on DoorDash. Surprise her from wherever you are with fresh bouquets and the latest tech, gift cards, self-care treats, and anything else and you can think of. So much more to make her day that much more special. Pair flowers with a gift card so she can celebrate any way she wants. Is mom a bookworm? Try a bookstore gift card. Does she love a good latte? Get a gift card to her favorite coffee shop. You just can't go wrong. Get the thoughtful gifts she deserves with the convenience you need. Choose same-day delivery or schedule a week ahead for when flowers and gifts should arrive to her door with DoorDash. I know my mom always taught me to save money, so I try to shop with savings that would make her proud. That's why I have DoorDash Dash Pass, and you should get it too. With the Dash Pass membership, you save with a $0 delivery fee and reduced service fees on eligible orders from Dash Pass merchants that meet the minimum subtotal. Other fees, including service fees, apply. Terms apply. Get all your Mother's Day gifts all in one place and get 50% off your next order, up to $15, when you spend $15 or more on your next flower, convenience, grocery, or retail order now with code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB. Order using DoorDash today. Terms apply. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Tonight, the Giants fall 4-0 to the Boston Red Sox. Logan Webb can't get out of the 4th inning. The Giants offense sputtering continues to sputter. Tough game for the Giants. And Logan Webb, I mean, we love Webby, but the home road splits this year have not been kind to him. At home, this dude has an under 1 ERA, 0.82 ERA in 22 innings pitched. He's got 18 hits in those 22 innings, but only 2 runs. And no, he hasn't given up a home run, only 2 walks and 12 strikeouts. Now, on the road, this isn't including today, but he's 1-1 with a 4.32 ERA. That's obviously going to go up, and he's got to add another loss to that. So now 1-2. The ERA is probably going to get closer to 5 now, maybe higher. The inning, only 16.2 innings pitched. Again, this was coming into tonight, and 18 hits. So more hits than innings pitched. Giving up 8 earned runs on those 18 hits, as opposed to giving up the same number of hits, 18, and only giving up 2 earned runs at home. The defense, the way the ball travels on the road is just different than what it does at Oracle Park. I mean, the heavy air in San Francisco, the way the park plays, it really bodes well to Logan Webb's pitching style, and Keaton Wins and Jordan Hicks and all these other guys on the Giants. Webby has also walked 5 guys on the road in these 16 innings pitched. So this is turning into a thing. Maybe Webb has a little bit of an issue on the road. I think he'll figure it out. It's Logan Webb. He always does. And the ERA around 4 on the road is not ideal. It's not what you want from the ace of your staff, from the guy who I think is going to be the NL Cy Young winner. But it's not terrible. It's something you can work with, especially if his home ERA is sub 1. But you got to find a way to give this guy some run support. And the Giants have not been able to do that all season long. Really, all of Logan Webb's career, they have not been able to find him much run support. And it's not just him. It's the entire starting pitching staff. Again, the Giants cannot score early in games at all lately. It's turning into an issue. And now with the loss, the Giants are 5-9 away from Oracle Park. In 9-7 at home, it doesn't exactly set the world on fire. I mean, but above 500 at home and well below on the road, 4 games below 500 on the road. That's not good. And the Giants still, I mean, they're offensively very unimpressive. Bottom 3rd in baseball in home runs. I mean, in most of their home runs, 17 of their 27 have been solo shots. They can't get guys on and they can't drive them in. And Logan Webb was really pitching well coming into today, and it's just halted his ground ball streak, his lack of walks, his lack of runs, his scoreless inning streak. I mean, all that came to an end in that first inning so quickly. And it was the Red Sox who had the pitching masterpiece, which isn't super surprising. They have the best ERA in baseball so far. Coming into tonight, 2.07, which dropped even further tonight. They finished with the best ERA in the month of April in all of baseball. They're great. Their whole pitching staff is pitching lights out right now, and the Giants ran into a buzzsaw. I mean, the Giants got the benefit of playing some teams that were not, I don't think, as good as the Red Sox over the last little recent stretch at home. I mean, that Mets series, the Mets have been playing better as of late, but I don't think the Mets are as good of a team as the Boston Red Sox. And I don't know, man, maybe the Giants, I mean, this is a 1-game sample size, so it's pretty small, but maybe the Giants just aren't as good as of a team as we thought they were. And when they play against tougher competition like this, like the Dodgers, I mean, look at the Padres. Yeah, they did win one of those series, but they split the other one. They barely pulled out that win. It's been tough for the Giants as of late. I mean, the Diamondbacks are the defending National League champions, but they're still the Diamondbacks, and the Giants are just not beating teams the way that I think they should be. Their offense completely underperforming from top to bottom. Soler and has been the main culprit. I mean, he did pick up a hit tonight, but 2 Ks again, batting around 219. It's not been there for him at the dish, and it hasn't really been there for any of the Giants' big name free agents. Matt Chapman batting 222. Jung-Hoo Lee has been good today, 0 for 4, 259 batting average, 665 OPS. He did hit one out to the warning track in that last at bat. I thought that one had a chance, but those weird dimensions of Fenway Park kept that ball in, and that was kind of all she wrote. And the Giants, they'll get back out there tomorrow, and they'll try and get it done in a bullpen game. And they're going to definitely need some offense tomorrow, because bullpen games typically don't result in you shutting down opponents. So I think that the more we see games like this, the more we're going to see the need for the Giants to trade for a big bat sometime in the future, sometime this season, sometime, I think, in this next month. I mean, we can really start talking about it once we get a bigger sample size. We are getting closer and closer to getting to be that point. I think if we go through another homestand and another road trip, I think after those two things, I mean, by the time we get to Memorial Day, you got to take a look in the mirror and say, is this team going to be able to compete? Is this the team that we're going to be able to go into the summer with and make a run? And right now, I don't know how you look at this offense and say, yeah, that is the team that we're going to make a run to the postseason with. They're going to need to move off somebody, and they're going to need to go get a big bat somewhere. I don't know who that's going to be. Keaton Wynn has been lights out, although I thought at the beginning of the season was the most likely option to be traded. I don't know if you want to trade that guy now the way that he's been pitching, but maybe you have enough confidence in some of these younger arms in the farm system, the Mason Blacks of the world, that you're willing to move off a guy like that. Who knows at this point? I mean, the Giants all I know is the Giants do need to figure out a way to figure out how to hit the ball. I mean, they just can't hit at all, and they need to get somebody in this order who can do that, who can strike some fear into the opponent's pitching staff, who can change at bats for other guys batting around them, and can drive in some runs and hit some runners in from when guys are on base. It's going to be tough sledding for this road trip. They need to figure it out. It's going to be a long one. As we said earlier, the longest road trip of the season, going to Boston, and then Fenway in Boston, then going to Philly, then going to Colorado, and then coming back to San Francisco. So we'll see how they fare on this longest road trip of the season. They need to figure out how to score runs ASAP. And hopefully they can stop these road woes from becoming a thing. 5-9 on the road this season. If they come back and they've lost twice as many games as they have won on the road, that's not good. Not good, folks. Not the way to get back to 500. Giants 2 games under 500 now. We had a chance to get back 500 today and couldn't do it. We'll see if they can continue the climb and start getting right back up there tomorrow. If they can pick up a couple wins to close out this series and now puts them behind the ball and trying to win a series and keeping that streak alive of not having lost a series since the Tampa Bay Rays. That feels like a while ago now, but they're going to need to play pretty well tomorrow to right this ship. I mean, the offense is going to need to show up and do something tomorrow. One last note, we were supposed to have Paulie Mack on the show today, had some wires crossed. We will get Paulie Mack tomorrow for sure. Third time's the charm on the Locked On Giants postcast. That's about all the time that we have for you guys today. Thanks for sticking with us on this one. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and we will see you next time. Peace.